Hello, and very good day to Madam Sugantini. So, my name is Ricardo Sulahi. Okay, so I'm here representing about the project regarding hero and heroine in GOTH culture. So, before we go to the hero and heroine in GOTH culture, we must to understand what is GOTH culture first, right? So, GOTH culture. So, what is GOTH culture? Okay, so basically, in surface information, both culture was born on the post-punk era in 1970s era that emphasizing music, focusing on literature and aesthetics of dark beauty and introspections. And the subculture characterized on haunting melodies, melancholic lyrics, patient, mysterious, and enigmatic. So, for example, like a band like um, Avenged Sevenfold or the picture here is representing how good culture is. They are focusing on darkness, mysterious ways, or mysterious looks, right? So that's representing a God culture. And some of people mention that God culture focusing on praising the satanic. So that's how its God culture is. And we directly straight go into the movie. So the movie is Edward Scissorhands, which is directed by Tim Burton, published in 7 December 1990, and the setting background is in the pastel colored suburban neighborhoods, reminiscent of 1950s America, and responding to the dark and gothic looks. Okay, so the main character in this movie is Edward Scissorhands himself, that portraying an innocent person who has scissor on his hands. Okay, so for the plot, I put exposition, raising action, climax, fighting action, and resolution. So for the expositions, the story was begin with the introduction of Edward, which is a reclusive young man with scissors for hands, for that scissors, yeah, on his hands, that living alone in a Gothic mansion on a hill overlooking a colorful suburban neighborhood. So on that time, following up in the movie, a character named Peg Box, which is a kind-hearted Avon saleswoman, discover him and invite him to stay with her family. And then comes to the rising actions. Edward's presence in the neighborhood initially sparked curiosity and fascination among the residents, who are intrigued by his unique appearance and talents. And after that, Edwards become more integrated into the community. He forms a close bonding with Peg's doctor, family, with neighborhood like Kim, and develops a talent for using his scissor hands to create intricate sculptures and hairstyles. So basically, he used his hands to cut woman hair creatively and then cut the sculptures. And for the climax, the climax, what I want to bring here is the tension between Edward and Jim escalates when Jim's criminal activities implicate Edward, that leading to confrontation that results in violence and tragedy. And Edward's, which is his very innocence and vulnerable, are exposed, and he is forced to flee back to his mansions, realizing that he can never truly belong in the woods of the suburbans. And then for the falling action, after that happened, the neighborhood descends into chaos as the residents confront the consequences of their actions, which that require Edwards to retreat into isolation against. So he haunted by the events that unfolded. And after that, Kim realizes her feeling for Edward and tries to reconcile with him. But their relationship ultimately doomed by the barriers of the society and Edward's own nature. And then for the resolution here, I want to highlight that the film concludes with an elderly Kim narrating the story of Edward to her granddaughter, reflecting on the impact he had on their lives and enduring the power of love and acceptance. About the content, first is creator and year introduced. So the movie was directed by Tim Burton and released in 1990, which is we know that Tim Burton known as for the uniqueness and imaginative storytelling style because he released a lot of gothic looks movie, and Edward Scissorhands become one of his iconic films. So in this movie, we will highlight Johnny Depp as a Edward and Winona Ryder as a Kim. So they both of them having a relationship, and with a blend of fantasy, romance, and dark humor, this movie has become beloved classic since its release. And about characteristic, I want to highlight that for the main character, I will highlight about two areas, which is appearance and personality. For the appearance, Edward Scissorhands having a pale skin, as you can see that his face was white, his body totally covered in white color. So and then his hair having like in the form of like with black hair, so like messed up hair, and then he owned a seizures on his hands. So regarding about the personality, innocence, naive, doleful, kind will be his personality as from the beginning until the end, he seems become like a children, which is an adult with a children mindset that make him become an innocent, like doesn't know about the world because he was isolated before, and then he was naive, so he uh, can be follow blindly with what people say without thinking the do's and don'ts, the consequences, I mean, and doleful, and the reason why I say he is like a kid human being because he is very kind. He is very kind, like a kid. And then we move on to the challenge that faces then and now. For the movie itself, Edward initially struggles to adapt to suburban life, navigating human interaction with his isolated upbringing and unconventional appearance. So his journey is fraught by loneliness, longing for acceptance, and the complexity of emotion that focusing on the relationship between him or the bonding between him and Kim. The betrayal and manipulation as well occur in this movie as Jim tests Edward trust by leaving him disillusioned and heartbroken. So, despite his efforts, Edward's inability to fully assimilate into society due to his differences leads to misunderstanding and ultimately prompts his retreat back into isolation. And the challenge faces now, I will highlight about the acceptance identity issues, which is the viewers still empathize with Edward's challenges in finding the acceptance, in finding the identity issues, which is grappling with identity and seeking belonging in a world that often prioritize conformity over uniqueness. And still, the the challenges that happen now is it continues to illuminate timeless themes of love, compassion, and the complex duality of human nature, which resonates deeply contemporary society. And about the evolution of the character, here I will highlight that begin with the what is it called? Begin with the reclassified and misunderstood outsiders to a figure of self-awareness. So before he was isolated because unknown people like homeless people, and after that um, become self-awareness, become person that we can take example with, in my opinions. And about the uh, what is it called, about the physical appearance, that with scissors blade for hands immediately sets him apart from the suburban community. So after that, as I mentioned previously, after Pack Box invite him to her home, so the another evolutions become he exposed to the complexities of human interaction and emotion for the first time. Before, he never talk to people, never interact with people, and now after the invitations, he himself, the Edward Scissorhands, had to adapt with the new environments. And after that, Edward's gentle nature and remarkable artistic talents gradually earned due to the acceptance, due to the admirations. And it makes him, or the time being, the time follow the flow, the happiness is short-lived when he becomes entangled in the schemes of Jim, a manipulative and selfish individual who betrays Edward's trust. And the betrayal and manipulation was caused by Jim. And lastly, I will highlight that in the aftermath of these trials, Edwards embarks on a journey of self-discovery and redemption. So that's all from regarding the Gothic and regarding into the movie. So what I will highlight here is the movie really putting a Gothic culture obviously into the fashions, and how the Edwards Scissorhands looks with the messed up hair, mysterious person being uh, with the fashion as well. Okay, and then the looks, and yeah, I think the main character really representing about how Goth's culture is in terms of looks, fashions, and mysterious ways. So I think that's all from me. So thank you, madam.